Welcome back, and another week of talking technical. And of course, I must kick off with nat gas. I discussed it a few weeks ago, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, and a lot of viewers asked me when will this turn around. And I did give a level, and oh dear, when that thing started to go, nat gas really gave us some gas. It went up like you cannot believe. So well, there's the classic daily candles, and I want to show you here what happened is I was looking for this tiny little reversal candle. When you get an instrument or an index or a share that's been hammered to pieces, usually you look for any reversal candle on this downtrend. And what happened was a classic case of technical analysis. We had this consolidation between, let's say, the first week in February till about the second week in February. And everybody was thinking that consolidation will probably give us a beautiful break to the upside. But what always happens is if everybody looks at the chart, and I've said it so many times, if you look at the chart and it looks so simple and easy, you must always remember that the chart can maybe just surprise you. So what happened? Exactly what I was thinking. The consolidation took place. Everybody was believing that it will go up from here. And what happened? When it broke this consolidation, it actually went down another little bit. And I was actually waiting for that because I said to myself, let's just wait and see where the reversal candle will come. Now, that was a reversal candle. That almost, you can say, a gravestone candle. That was a beautiful reversal. But for me, I saw that real body and I said, it's more of a teardrop candle to me. But then 2 days later, this little gravestone doji actually told me that there is some buyers around. They're still nervous. They're not sure. And it wasn't long because it was a shakeout candle, ugly bearish engulfing candle. And there was the beautiful, you can almost say inverse hammer telling you that it's knocking out the lows. It went as low as 2.06. Can you believe it? It went quite low there. And then since then, it had a beautiful rally. Now, if you did miss the boat, it's not the end of the world. Then you look at this line here. There's the big line. If the share or this instrument nat gas can get above 272, then we know that this consolidation below this resistance line, because that is a resistance line, is going to turn into a support, and it can maybe give us a beautiful move to the upside. So yes, if you did miss it, wait for it. For me personally, I think the share or the instrument had a beautiful rally. It is a little bit overbought on the daily chart. So hopefully we can see the following. We can maybe see there's like a left shoulder. There you can see it, left shoulder. There's the head. Maybe we're working on the head. We'll probably test that line. And then if we do get a beautiful right shoulder developing here, that will be a classic reversal formation, because then we can maybe break up. And where can we go to? I think if it really goes, we'll probably meet up with this 50-day moving average, and that will probably end up eventually in 3.12. But that just shows you when you've got a share or an instrument or a commodity, doesn't matter, and it's just been hammered all the way. You just need for patience, and you need to wait to get your entry level right. And if you do get that right, it can pay you off quite well. Well, let's have a look at Coronation. This is now one of the shares that everybody is watching. And remember, they've got a court case going with SARS on payments. And what I see here, that's the big thing that maybe worries me a little bit. I was looking at this chart before, and if this chart is correct, then there's still some trouble ahead for Coronation. I mean, look at this ugly sell-off that we had. Look at this massive bearish candle. But what worries me is that the last couple of days, it did give us a beautiful rally. But look at that tweezer top there. That tweezer top is just below this 50-day moving average. So what it tells me is that the share did sell off. It did try to give us a beautiful bounce. It reached that 50-day moving average. It acted as a resistance. And now the big question is, can it go back to this neckline? And that neckline sits at 3081. Because what we see here is we see an inverse cup and handle formation. There's the handle, there's the cup. And I really hope that this chart is wrong, because if it breaks below this neckline, where can it go to? I mean, this company must be worth more than what this chart is going to tell us, because if it breaks below that neckline, and I've seen it before, sometimes you believe that the chart will not do it, and then it works out and it does that, and it can go to 25.60. So for me, I like the company. I believe that it does offer value. Yes, there is some problems with payments now, or negotiations, or a court case, whatever the case may be. But I will look closely when this line looks like it wants to hold as a resistance, as a support. Maybe it's a little bit of a chance to just go in and nibble a little bit. But where's your stop loss? If you do buy close to that line, your stop loss will be the low of that candle, and that is 30 Rand on the dot. So for me, I like Coronation, but I'm worried a little bit because this sell-off is ugly. I thought that it can give us a beautiful V reversal. Yes, it did give us a little bit of a bounce, but this tweezer top is worrying me. Let's have a look at another one, Zeda. And I mean, this is the car rental company. You look at this chart. I mean, since it listed on the stock exchange, and when did it list? It listed in December. It was just selling, 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 selling. I mean, look at it. It started up at around 18 Rand, 18 Rand on the dot. But since then, now it's trading at 12 Rand. So for me, another story like almost Nat Gas. I say to myself now, okay, if that's the case, and say, for instance, you like the share, in actual fact, I do like the share because I think that it does offer value. It's maybe not going to give us some good returns now, but I think it's a solid company. But what do? We wait for a proper reversal candle. First of all, there's your consolidation. I'm waiting for this consolidation to tell me something, so I'm not a buyer at the moment. But what I can do is, I can use this little line here, and I can draw that in, and that is a resistance line for me. There you are. And I will say to myself, okay, if that's the resistance line, is there a support line? Let's have a look. Where's the support? And what does it tell us? It tells us that there is a symmetrical triangle right at the bottom of this sell-off. Now, it's either one of two things. Either you're going to get a beautiful reversal out here, or you're going to see a break down this support line, same like Nat Gas, and first shake everybody out. But where's my first sign of strength? Will be above 12 Rand 33. That's the resistance rand. Above 12.33, it will show me the first sign of strength. My stop loss will be 11.93. And if it does break there, you just wait for it, because where can it go to? It can go to 11.40. If this symmetrical triangle that some people will now call a flag formation, because the trend is already down and this is just a continuation pattern, I will just say, wait. But maybe I think this share, almost like Nat Gas that's just been hammered to pieces, will eventually give us some beautiful bounce. Let's have a see if there's just maybe, if we can see if there's volume, because I always like to see if there's maybe volume around. Oh yes, there's the volume. Oh, there's some serious buyers and sellers around these levels. Look at the spike in volume. I mean, there was a beautiful spike. There was a lovely spike at around 12 Rand 40. And now it's almost like lackluster. So I need to see now, what is it going to do? For me, I like these spikes in volume. It always tells me that there's some strong hands buying or selling the share. So for me, patience is key here. And let's see what will happen if it turns around. But volume usually is like a tiny little hint that something is already on the boil in the company. Let's have a look at Walt Disney. Walt Disney, I mean, this is a massive company. And look at this, testing the 50-day moving average, being sold off. There's a little gap. I know everybody wants to get back into the NASDAQ. This is listed on the NASDAQ. Let's just show you that little gap there. Always when I see gaps to the downside, I'm always a little bit nervous. And then I say to myself, listen, what can happen here? Let's have a look here. There's the gap. And oopsie daisy, there's another gap. And I teach my guys that trade the Aussie with me, when you trade between gaps, it just shows you that there's immense uncertainty. So the best then, if you want to buy, wait for the share to show that either the 50-day moving average is going to turn into a support. That's the one thing. Or wait for either one of these gaps to close before you get involved. Now for you, if you want to buy, because the viewer dropped me an email, he said to me, Frans, I would love to buy the share. For me, it's quite simple. I will see, first of all, if this 50-day moving average holds. But for me personally, I would love the share to either close this gap, and can you believe it, even lower, there's a gap there as well. That makes me nervous because that's around $87. The share is trading at 100. But let's focus on this gap first. This gap is between 97.12 and the high there is 96.55. So if that gap closes, then you can maybe look at the share. And where's your stop loss? If it turns around here and you get a beautiful reversal candles, and you will hear that I say a reversal candle. Always look out for a reversal candle, because the reversal candle tells you that there's something on the go. Look at that. There was a beautiful dragonfly candle. That was the reversal candle that gives you the hint. Right at the top, there's the shooting star, or some guys will say this is a teardrop. I will see it's a teardrop candle. Then you had the hammer. Then you saw a doji. That's also a reversal candle. Ugly bearish candle, and since then it went down. So for me, interpretation of candles is vital. And especially if you want to buy, always look at reversal candles to give you an hint of a possible entry level, or also help you to get a nice stop loss. But for me, Disney in two worlds, I'm not going to buy at the moment. I will look at it. And for you, if you want to buy it, wait for one of these gaps to close. Well, thank you for visiting the show. Visit our website, www.fransklerk.com, for more info, and we will chat again.